the sacred rock of Australia with extraterrestrial paintings. It's amazing that no expert archaeologist has given any theory of why these petroglyphs and images are on the rock. Where are these experts, supposedly archaeologists with degrees, to give some theory from what we're taught in college about anthropology? And as we know, back then, they only painted what they saw. So they had seen aliens, which we are told do not exist. The Wandjina alien gods of the Australian Aborigines. One of the most interesting is the myth of the Australian Aborigines, the so-called legends, as we are told today that they did not fit their history. They're the supreme spiritual beings and the creators on earth, and peoples painted on the rocks in the caves. Some of them don't have mouths. They have big black eyes with white faces and heads surrounded by halos of some kind of an energy field. These are the paintings shown visitors from other worlds interacting with first humans. In 1938, Dr. Lommel, a member of the Frobenius Institute, lived for several months in the northwestern part of Australia with the Aboriginal tribe called Unambal, who, according to the official history, have been there for the last 60,000 years. During this period, paintings were observed of the daily life of these individuals from the Stone Age, hunter-gatherer era, etc. But what drew attention to his research was the discovery of a cave considered sacred by the natives, with the enigmatic Wandjina paintings of mythological beings related to the creation of the world. What seems to be most interesting is the style of the paintings, which represent these enigmatic, quote-unquote, divine beings. The iconography immediately shows the similarity between the stereotypical image of an alien and indeed the gray aliens, to be precise, and many wonder why the Aborigines have painted them with white skin and not black like their own skin. Why are the eyes always drawn so out of proportion to the face and nose? And why don't all these beings have mouths? They bear a striking resemblance to the gray aliens described by reports of alien abduction victims. Theorists believe that the ancient Wandjina astronauts could have lived among Australian Aborigines and then left. Something interesting, the objects found and the analysis show that the area has been inhabited since 174,000 BC, and this contradicts the theory that there were dogmas at the beginning was from Africa and that people traveled from Africa to Australia about 60,000 years ago. Other researchers have suggested that Homo sapiens actually came from Australia, not even ancient Greece. Basically, Homo sapiens it's not one species, but many different species, and indeed without a common origin. And what the archaeologists and geneticists of the establishment say is to take them and not combine with each other, but they lack logic. The Aborigines were called the ultra-extremes, those who lived in the extremes, but also the autochthonous, that is, it's the Latin meaning ab origin, which means original, primary. The Australian Aborigines believe that the creation of the world started from an empty space filled with the help of their gods. All this happened in an era, the era of the dream, which however has not ended, nor will it ever end, since it's only a period of time, but also space, with which one cannot communicate, either through the dreams, either after he dies or goes there. The creator gods appear as giant reptilian ancestral spirits or elders who came through the earth and who, after traveling everywhere, created in passing through the world, and as they moved, they shaped the relief of the earth and the slopes, the plains, the rivers, the mountains. Every time they rested somewhere, they created stars or even lakes or rivers. And they are the ones who shape the universe, since they themselves turn into sun, moon, or planets, is what their legends say. According to another version, they had to come into conflict with other creatures, and in the ensuing flood, the landscape was shaped and changed by itself. Male and female gods were transformed into rocks, mountains, rivers, and springs. Thus, the gods are held responsible for climatic changes, rainy seasons, or droughts, thunder, and lightnings. And when at some point during the Age of Dreams, the bloodthirsty Kunya tribe appeared, their ancestral spirits petrified them in the sacred rock of Uluru. This is the rock here on the top left-hand side, the rock of Uluru. For the Pitcairn tribe of Central Australia, this rock is a sacred place. Aborigines today, objects in tourism visit the rock Uluru because they believe that they might wake up the Kunya and start a macabre period full of riots for all of the tribes. So that's the legend of the Uluru Rock and some of the history of the Aborigines of Australia. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.